Good morning, everyone. Before we get into this morning's update, I want to go over a quick synopsis of what is transpiring so far across the crypto market. Right now, as we can see for XRP, and we'll focus on XRP on this update for the most part, but XRP here is definitely falling under a tiny bit of pressure, nothing major. Had a fake out over what looks like a megaphone pattern, but fell back within the consolidation. Bitcoin's been wildly sporadic as the bond market and such has gone drastically down. For anybody who watches Gregory Mannarino, the MMRI is up to about, I believe it's either, I think it was 319, or it might have been 309, but it's getting way up there. The equities markets are under pressure, so that's putting pressure on cryptocurrency. And remember, money finds its way to yield, so if someone's not finding yield in crypto, they're going to go somewhere else. And it looks like this morning, at least, some are finding that yield in gold, gold, silver, commodities, which I'm having a great day so far in all fronts there. Now, crypto's a little bit of a different story. You've got a few of them that are somewhat overachieving right now compared to the rest of the market. Our V-chain's up 4.5%. My baby DGB's up 5.8%. But we're just paring some of the losses from the day before. But on a focus on XRP, now that we see a little bit of a market, how it's moving, the only other thing I wanted to at least say is US dollar currency index is at 108.39. So flat, but on the rise slightly. Stock market's slightly up, but nothing major. It's going to have to take out the recent high and then back test that high for me to even think that it's going to go up another layer, even though under Trump you would assume it would go up. But if the equities markets are selling off in the bond market, it could make things a little dicey. But as far as XRP goes, and I'll do the intro and then we'll get into the technical analysis. I'll probably do about a 10 to 15 minute update. Then I got to go to the gym. Things are a little bit different today. My son's school was canceled for today and tomorrow for weather. I'm not sure why today because it's 6 degrees. So it just shows, the difference now than when I was a kid. Even tomorrow at -6, we would probably still be in school. It wouldn't have been cold enough. So, but he doesn't have school, but we have therapy still at 12 o'clock. So I want to get this done. Go up to the gym and get that figured out because it's going to take me, my due process, but I need to get back in my routine so that I can be my best person. So good morning, 10:11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Tuesday, January 21st, 2025. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. So XRP's down about, just about 0.75%. Just slipped under the $3.08 mark. What we have to pay attention to is the fact that, yes, we could be in a megaphone pattern, but that breakout and come back within is not necessarily what you want to see. You want to see that back test successfully held, and that should have held somewhere around $3.20. And then furthermore, we got a rejection as a resistance at $3.20. So now it becomes, is this going to turn into a buy the rumor, sell the news? Or is this going to be the continuation that it looks like going into the election? All I'll say is when you look at the all-time pattern here on XRP, it looks like it's trying to break to the new level. And there's a few others that, show the same. We got XLM that looks like it's on a major bull flag. And until that breaks down, you would have to just look and be like, hey, we're going to have to play through the up and down ebb and flows. But in time, we see what we're set up for. We technically have done 4 waves. It appears that we're done with the 4th wave, and now this should be the 5th wave. But the 5th wave can't be larger than the 2nd to 3rd wave. So you've got the 1st wave up, 2nd to 3rd. So, we'll see how it works out. But we'll just see, because we have bearish crosses here in the hour. We're back within the megaphone, so we just want to get outside the megaphone. It's still a bullish consolidation unless it were to break below, which at this point, there's a ton of room. It could even come all the way back down to this $2.80 area and still be within the megaphone, so that's not the issue. The issue is you don't want to keep coming back down, and we would have liked to have held the breakout. A hold on the breakout would have got you up to $3.73. That has been invalidated for the moment. So now it looks like that $3.40 could in fact be a double top if this were to keep coming down. However, in the daily or in the 4-hour candle, looks like an inverted hammer. So that's not necessarily bad. But but we're starting to get to a point where we're working against ourselves. Another daily candle reversal. Yesterday ended bearish. Despite how high it went up, it looked like a bearish anomaly. So we've got some work to do here. We've definitely got some work to do here. Until it loses certain levels, I wouldn't be willing to say, oh, we flipped over bearish, because it still is in that, let me just go over this real quick. So basically what's happened, and these are all bullish continuations. So we were in a descending wedge for about 7 years, right? Let me get an, you know what I'm going to do for just this one time? Let me get an empty chart, and we're just going to do it together. And then, you know, for the most part, I'll let you guys go, get on with your morning, and we'll reconvene when the time is right. But basically, if you're just, I can do this as quick as possible, just so in case you're new. So basically what happened is we went to all-time highs. Well, what the hell chart is this? That's not all-time highs. This don't even look like, that's not a good chart. Let me go to a better chart where it's actually identifying the actual ebb and flows of XRP. So let me get a different one. Wow, all these charts didn't... Interesting. Hold on. We'll get there. Okay, so this one will work. So we've got the all-time chart. So XRP went to all-time highs. And basically we created a descending wedge. So here, let's just go through this together. And you'll see how this just keeps going bullish to bullish. So we created a descending wedge right there. We broke out. And it ended up coming out to here. That was as far as it was supposed to go. So when we came out, it back tested the wedge. But in that process of the resistance in 21, we created a cup. And then we created a handle. Then we came out, and the technical target was 222 out of the handle. But the point is, if you just go from one to the next, you went from a descending wedge to a pennant flag, which is a bullish continuation, to now looking like a megaphone pattern, which would be another bullish continuation. You know, assuming that it breaks out. Well, that's a stupid way to look at it, but you guys get what I'm saying. We have it in the other chart. So let me just show the other chart. But you get what I'm saying. So we went from a descending wedge to a pennant flag, and now in a megaphone. These are all bullish continuations. Now, if one of them is lost, and obviously we created that big massive cup and handle, that the technical target out of that cup and handle from 2021, is $5.39. So that is something, obviously, to pay attention to. And then, you know, you measure it, the depth, and then we get it. So we've got all of that on the other chart. I just wanted to show you kind of, if you're new, that's what we went from. So we went from a descending wedge. Then we went into a pennant. Well, the descending wedge formed a cup and handle when it broke out of the wedge, almost 7 years. And then we formed a pennant flag, which is very bullish, and the target off that pennant flag is $5.39. And then we formed what looks like a megaphone, which is a bullish continuation. It's a bullish consolidation. So everything we're seeing looks good. Now, these ebb and flows of the market, that's just something we're going to have to deal with. But it doesn't look bearish unless it were to break this megaphone and then it invalidates that pennant flag entirely. But this still has a lot of room. A lot of room. It only filled out the pennant, the actual flag part of this pattern, which is how we knew we'd go to 340. But if it fills out that successfully and this plays true, we're talking about $5.39. At least with this megaphone consolidation, get us up to about that 384, 378 at the time. You know, somewhere to where we can push this rising channel or the uptrend from this cycle start, where we could push that, because that's the resistance on the pattern. And long ago, we talked about this massive cup that could form in the all-time pattern, and at the time, it really did look crazy when we were talking about it. But the crazy thing is it actually filled out. That's the crazy thing. That entire pattern filled out, and I haven't drawn on this chart in a while, because it was our, if this happens, you know, this is when it was at 50 cents, because we use this chart, just so you know, for the cup and handle. This was our cup and handle chart. And then it was in a rising channel, so we had all of that, so we knew that it could have been an all-time cup and handle and a big W formation. And if that's the case, which it looks like it is, now all we have to do is get on top of the resistance at $3.60 on this chart, in the all-time chart. And then we would have a technical move up. That's how you can get up to $6.69. So it's not just, hey, it ends here and there, but there's going to be a lot of up and down, rocky roads. Holy crap, we're punched in the face, but can't let our emotions dictate our response kind of thing. So from a longer standpoint and a shorter standpoint, I try to show you every single day. I'm not worried in the least. I'm going to be honest. I'm not worried in the least. If it breaks down, it breaks down, but we'll be far ahead of it. We know the targets. If for some reason it came below that megaphone at $2.80, we would start to be like, uh-oh. Maybe we'll touch that 260 fair value gap and so on and so forth. But until that happens, don't stress yourself out. But understand, things are developing in a way. So that's what I have this morning. I'm XRP Future Millionaire. If you're looking to get in the market, if you're watching to see if the market, is developing in a proper way, or if you're like, the market looks like it's correcting a little bit, I want to make sure I have an exchange that I can use, or I need an exchange that I can sell my crypto from so that I can get my funds into USDT or USDC so you can get them off the exchange. But your exchange, the fees are way too, I do what I do. So I have crypto.com as my verified account, but it's higher, it costs me a little bit more to buy and sell there. So all I do is if I have let's say I have, and I'm not doing this, but let's say my XLM I need to sell. I will just send it from my crypto.com to my BITUNIX. I'll sell it, and then I'll send it back in USDC, USDT, whatever you want to. And then you can just simply, I put it on my crypto debit card of $25K, so I never even have to send it to the bank. And then there's a savings that I can use in the USD wallet, and it's backed up to $250K by FDIC. But that's what I suggest for all my audience to do. Sign up to BITUNIX. They have the lowest spot and leverage trading fees, the lowest maker-taker fees. And at least if you're going to incur some fees, send it to an exchange where the fees are the cheapest you could possibly imagine. To put in perspective, on a $25,000 sale, if you were going to do $25,000 on like Uphold, cost you $2,000-$3,000. I've been there. It sucks. On BITUNIX, it might cost you $100 or $200 for that same transaction. That's a huge difference. If you're talking about like a $3,000 to $5,000 trade, it's like $1 or $2. You're not even going to notice it. But when you start, well, maybe not, a little bit more, like $10 probably. But you don't notice it as much as a bigger trade. But anyhow, the maker-taker fee is the lowest. They've got XRP and so many others if you leverage or spot trade. But that's just what I've started to do in the last couple of years. I've been going to non-KYC exchanges to sell. Then I'll send it back to my verified account just so, for a lot of purposes, they don't have to see the trading parts of it. And then I don't have to incur the fees. So that's just something I do. HOTCOIN has, I have my XDC, VELO, IOTA's there as well. There's a bunch of different ones that you can find. They're a little bit higher fees, but they're a no KYC exchange as well. Crypto.com is where I have my verified Visa card, the crypto debit card, I should say, but it's verified and yada, 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 so on and so forth. And that's just the way it needs to be. So pay attention to what I'm saying. Make sure to hit that like button. If you do appreciate my content and you want to see more, subscribe to the channel as we're almost up to 31,000 subscribers. And other than that, I'll see you later on today.